Hello everyone and welcome to the Carnivore Entrepreneur Show. Live life on your terms with purpose. This is episode 1 of the Carnivore Entrepreneur Show, and I'm really excited to start this journey with you and talk to you about sort of all of my learnings over the years and talk to you about how I've come to the time in my life that I'm at the moment. Have you ever felt that you've been chasing something that you're not sure about what it is you're chasing or why you're chasing it, but you know that there's something you're going after, but you're not 100% sure as to what it is? You know, us as entrepreneurs, specifically carnivore entrepreneurs, as you can probably guess, I eat meat. So this is all about how I got to where I'm at the moment and the working and the grinding and everything that I've done along the way, and how I've realized what actually brings purpose to my life. And hopefully I can share with you the formula that I've learned over the years that when working together absolutely delivers results that you can be proud of, you can feel fulfilled, and you can feel like that your life has purpose. So rather than just tell you this formula up front, what I want to do is initially in this first episode is just talk you through the stories in my life or the things that have happened in my life to get to where we're at the moment with the carnivore entrepreneur. When I was younger, like all kids, we all had dreams. And my dream is I wanted to be a professional basketball player. I'm half American, so I spent 3 years living in the States. My dad's American and my mum is English. And I spent 3 years going to school in the United States, and that's where I grew a real love and passion for basketball. I'm quite a tall guy. I'm 6'4", 6'5" with shoes on, and I was good at it. You know, I could dribble the ball well. I could take great at driving to the basket and scoring points and all the rest of it. And it was exciting and it was fun. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I thought I wanted to be a professional basketball player. And when we moved back to the UK, initially, you know, I still loved it, was playing with everyone. I guess it probably wasn't as big of a sport in the UK as it is in the United States. And I easily got distracted. So in my teenage years, I got distracted by girls, by drugs, and that sort of started to consume my life. And I got inconsistent with it. And you'll find a consistent thing with this carnivore entrepreneur way is that consistency is a massive part of it. And if you fall out of consistency, a lot of other things fall out as well. So basically, I wasn't consistent with being a basketball player because I got distracted and that dream sort of died. And that's where I spent a number of years, you know, my teenage years as I became a teenager through to my early 20s, where I was partying while still earning money. You know, I've always been in a job and always had decent money. I was not looking after my health. I was having fun. And yeah, you know, it gave me a lot of different experiences that I probably use in my life today. But, you know, my health took a downturn. And one day I had a wake up call. I woke up one day in 2006 and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe because I was smoking, I was doing drugs, and it really, really got to me. I think I was there with my best friend. My mum came running into the room, and I did have asthma. So probably not a good thing to be smoking when you had asthma as a child, but I had asthma inhalers there, and I took the asthma inhaler, and eventually it calmed down, but it really, really scared me. Like, you know, when you wake up and you can't breathe, all you want to do is breathe. And it just took its toll on me. And I got to thinking, you know, I need to do something about this. Like, this is not good. So that's when I actually decided to become a personal trainer and sports injury therapist. Now, I always liked earning money and always had this thing in the back of my mind that, yeah, you know what, I probably could start a business. So it was like a double-pronged thing. I thought, you know what, I'm going to get myself fit and healthy, learn to be a personal trainer and sports injury therapist, and then I can start my own business at the same time. So like, be fit and healthy and have my own business. And I had this vision of, you know, earning lots of money, being really fit, healthy and buff, and life would be great. However, my first experience of entrepreneurship wasn't exactly what I thought it would be. It was difficult. It was hard to get clients. It was hard to earn the money that I wanted to earn. And my first business as a personal trainer and sports injury therapist sort of flopped. And because I didn't earn the money that I wanted to earn, it wasn't fulfilling the vision. So I did that for a couple of years, obviously got fit and healthy. Probably the first time in my life that I was fit, muscular, looking good, but I wasn't getting the money that I wanted. And this sort of hurt me a bit. So I met my ex-wife in 2007, in between that sort of time while I was running my own sort of personal training and sports injury therapist business. And I wanted to move out and, not live with my parents anymore. So I needed more money. So I went back to something that I knew, which was, being an amazing salesperson and manager for mobile phones. So I went back to do that, and almost immediately I started earning money, moved out, got married. And this is where I fell into what I like to call the comfort trap. So my ex-wife's parents, they had good money and they helped us our first house. And I started earning lots more money. I was really great at sales and quickly progressed to being a manager in the mobile phone industry. And I was bloody good at it. I earned decent money for my age, and I was in my 20s back in the early 2010s, and I was earning 35, 40 grand a year, and life was good, or so I thought. And this is where the comfort trap came in. My life wasn't really my own, because all of my money went to my ex-wife, and she gave me an allowance each month. And when I was at home, didn't really feel like I was at home because I couldn't do what I wanted. I was always told that I needed to be better, do things differently, that I wasn't doing things right. So I only really felt like I was me when I was at work. So I used to work really, really hard, and I worked really, really hard, and I felt like I had decent money at the time, but I was working for someone else, obviously. And I was telling myself that I was happy, but in reflection, looking back, I wasn't really happy. So that was the comfort trap. And I used drinking, and that's when I went on to drinking alcohol. I was definitely drinking too much, almost every day. And I would easily drink a bottle of wine and a couple pints of beer or cider. And that would be quite a regular thing. And that's what I mean by the comfort trap. My life at the time wasn't mine. Then there was another breaking point. What sort of got me out of this comfort trap was I found this guy called Tony Robbins. You probably would have heard of him. Watching his videos just made me come alive. It unlocked something in my mind that made me feel like, do you know what? There is something missing in my life. I want more, and I want to be me, and I want to be free to do what I want to do when I want to do it, have control of my life again, and live life on my terms, which you'll find that as a theme probably throughout these videos, is absolutely want to live life on my terms and help other people live life on their terms as well. So yeah, Tony Robbins really unlocked something. Just watching his videos, you're getting tons of aha moments. Oh yeah, of course. And that was sort of 2014, late 2014, started watching his videos. And beginning of 2015 was when I really started to say, do you know what? I'm going to take control of my life. I stopped drinking every day, and I was getting up early, joined this 5 a.m. club back then, started running every day, going to the gym before work. That really made me remember what it was like to be fit and healthy again, and how that felt. And that felt really, really good. The problem was the person I was surrounding myself with, and the person I lived with at the time, my ex-wife, was questioning, why are you not drinking? Drink with me, don't be silly. You should be drinking because, that's what we do. I even had to have a glass of wine next to me, pretend I was drinking it, and pour it down the drain gradually so that she thought that I was drinking with her. God, yeah, I was like, I shouldn't be having to pretend like this. My wife should be supporting me in the things that I want to do. And I won a competition to Chamonix through customer experience. I was always good at my job. And my shop at the time was, one of the best stores in performance in the entire company. And it had been for a while. And we ended up winning this competition, won a few competitions in the past. I might tell you about those in the future if it's relevant. But yeah, I won this competition to Chamonix and started talking to this girl called Kay. We both were talking loads, and it was just nice to talk to someone that got me, valued me, was interested in me and who I was. And we were just talking, got on really well on the trip, came home, continued talking. And I found myself just talking to her a hell of a lot more than anyone else, and realized that my life that I had at the moment wasn't what I wanted. And I think it had been going on a while, even before I even met Kay, where I just realized I wasn't happy. And breaking free from this, drinking all the time and that mask that it gives you actually gave me the freedom to explore what I wanted. And my wife, I think, or my ex-wife at the time, kicked me out of the house a number of times over those few months, even before, I met Kay. And I would leave, she would beg me to come back, and I'd come back, and it would just repeat the cycle. And she threw me out one last time. I think it was the fourth or fifth time that she threw me out. And it was while I was talking to Kay after we got back to Chamonix, and I just said, I'm not going back. That was it. I didn't go back. I went and stayed at my dad's house and said to Kay, do you want to meet up? We met up, and just everything felt right. One of those times where when you need to do something, and I needed to leave. And the other thing I needed to do was I needed to get out of my hometown around all the people that I'd grown up doing drugs with. And I just needed to get away. And I decided to move to Swansea in 2015. That's when things catapulted. I got my health on track. Obviously, my mindset was a hell of a lot better because I was listening to this guy, Tony Robbins. My health and my mind got better. My body was so much more energy and everything. And I was just clear of what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. And my wage accelerated. I went from earning 40 grand a year in 2015 to earning 70 grand a year in 2017. So within 2 years, I'd almost doubled my wage. And then, because I doubled my wage, obviously I'd grown in my roles and learned a hell of a lot in my corporate career. And at the 70K mark, I was like, right, I'm at a stage now where I either need to be running companies for other people or I need to chase after my own dreams. And that's when I started researching property, because I thought, I looked into what things build long-term wealth, and, property, you can look, you can feel, you can touch. So I decided to get into property and researched and read tons and tons and tons of books. That's where my passion came for starting our own business. And we eventually picked a company that we started in short-term rentals. Kay and me both came from service-based industries, and we thought we would have, a lot of transferable skills that we could use in short-term rentals. So it sort of encompassed property, but what we were good at the same time. So end of 2017, beginning of 2018, this is when our short-term rental business started. And what gave me the push to start it was, obviously the decision that I wanted to make more of myself and work towards my own dreams as opposed to someone else's. But also at the end of 2017, my granddad died, and I was talking to him about it beforehand, and he wanted to use his money to help people in property. And it just sort of sparked a load of things. And while it wasn't much, I knew I was getting a little bit of money from my granddad, and that gave me the confidence to take the leap of getting a course, someone that could teach us about short-term rentals. And we started on this journey in 2018, and we absolutely grafted. Graft from 2017 through to 2018. 2018, we just went absolutely crazy. And I think something happened with that. And yes, absolutely believe that you need to work hard to where you need to get to. But sometimes when you work hard towards a financial goal or a business or something like that, you can forget some of the other things that are really important as well. And I was pushing myself so hard that I ended up getting an extreme back pain. And I think that was because I was driving so much for my job and then working so hard in the evenings, but also wanting to keep my health and fitness up. And that all coming together gave me an excruciating back pain that transferred into sciatica. And it was probably the worst pain that I've ever felt in my life. And I had to slow down. So we were getting our business started. Kay and I got married in 2018 as well. And this sort of really put a dampener, and I had to slow down to speed up. And I started swimming, and the swimming was the only thing that I could do to exercise that really didn't hurt my back and my sciatica. And that's when I sort of started to feel like I got a bit of balance. And we got a few properties on board in 2018. Kay was able to quit her job, which was great because I was earning more money. It made sense for her to quit her job first. But we actually slowed down. We concentrated on ourselves, on our relationship, on our mindset. And in 2019, we went to Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within. And we slowed down, realized this is something that we wanted to do, got our health on track. Something amazing happened. And even though we weren't working as hard, We focused on our mindset. We focused on our health, like our bodies, and getting our bodies to where they needed to be. And lo and behold, within 8 months, our business went from 4 properties to 20 properties, fivefold, a 500% increase, and allowed me to quit my job in September 2019. And this is sort of when the formula for how to get true success, how to get your bank account to where you really want it to be, how to get your wealth to where you really want it to be. This is sort of when it started to come together. And COVID happened. That's another story. COVID happened. We went through that. We accelerated our business even more. And we get to 2023. And that's when I started realizing what I wanted to do and how I'd got to where I was at that time. And 2023, we actually revisited Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within and went again. And that reset itself. It made me realize that I needed to be consistent in every single area of my life. And that consistency started to make my body look better, put my mindset in a much, much better place. And then 6 months after we did Unleash the Power Within, we went to Date with Destiny. And Date with Destiny was definitely that. And I'm not saying that you need to do all these big, massive immersion things that we did with Tony Robbins. But what it did was it reset my mind. It reset my mind and got me into the person that I really wanted to be. And that's when I started to realize the formula of what I'm going to call the Carnivore Entrepreneur System. And it's the formula that, as you can see the circle here, right? It's all circular, all interlinks with each other. And that formula is healthy mind, healthy body, and healthy bank account. Not necessarily in that order either. Everything usually starts with, and it did with me, back in 2006 when I became a personal trainer and sports injury therapist. Everything starts with a healthy body. If you can't function right, then you can't get anywhere close to where you want to be. If your body doesn't function right, your mind won't function right, and therefore your bank account won't function right. But it's all circular, all works together in unison. And while everything starts with a healthy body, then your mind gets better. You start practicing things that make your mind more healthy, so you can get yourself a healthy mind. Then your bank account starts becoming healthier as well. But also with a healthier bank account, you can invest in things that make your body better, make your mind better, and then therefore make your bank account even better. So it all feeds into each other. So it's a cyclical formula that when working all in one, all in unison with each other and consistently, that's where you get true high performance. And this is where you get high performance through the Carnivore Entrepreneur System. I'm going to take you through a lot more stories, a lot more things to do with healthy mind, healthy body, and healthy bank account. And all you need to do is follow me. This is all going to be for free. I'm not charging anyone for any of this. I'm going to tell you what I went through my life, through more stories, through ways of how to do it, and what the different things that you would need to do to get yourself healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy bank account, and be your true self, to live life on your terms with purpose. If that sounds interesting to you, please follow along. Carnivore Entrepreneurship is all about business. It's all about whole foods. It's all about eating meat-based, primal. You know, we got the sign of the lion here. It's all about primal, the way that things are supposed to be done, to live life the way that it's supposed to be lived. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. You are a carnivore entrepreneur. Live life how it was supposed to be lived on your terms with strength, energy, and purpose. I'll see you on the next episode.